Have you imagined if Titanic had Uma Thurman instead of Kate Winslet? Or if the Black Widow was played by Emily Blunt? Or if Will Smith was Neo in The Matrix? Iconic roles and characters are played by talented actors, but the decision of who will play a character comes to one person, the casting director. A role that is about to be recognized by the Oscars in 2026, with a new category of Best Casting. This marks the first edition of a new competitive category since Best Animated Feature in 2001. The decision followed years of discussion within the Academy, as well as advocacy from casting directors who had long argued that their work part of the filmmaking process but had gone under-recognized by the Oscars. The establishment of the Academy's Casting Directors branch in 2023 laid the groundwork for this change, signaling that the Academy is ready to formally acknowledge casting directors. There is also another category coming in 2027, recognizing the work of stunt doubles, but that I will save it for another video. The way a new Oscar category comes into existence is more structured than someone might assume. Proposals originate from members of specific branches and committees within the Academy. These proposals are presented to the Board of Governors, who review the technical and artistic reasons and relevance to contemporary cinema. If approved, the proposal advances to a full vote by the Academy membership. Only when a majority of members agree, a new category becomes part of the ceremony. Categories may also be retired if the members conclude that they no longer represent the current practice of filmmaking, like it happened with categories such as Best Musical or Comedy Score or Best Dance Direction. The addition of Best Casting followed this path with support from across branches, reflecting both recognition of the profession and pressure from the international film community, where casting has long been celebrated through awards such as the BAFTAs and Emmys. Casting as a professional discipline took form in the early days of Hollywood. In the silent and early studio era, the task of finding actors often fell to producers or directors, and studio executives frequently relied on contract rosters to fill roles. This created a system where actors were slotted into productions regardless of whether they best fit the material. As filmmaking grew more complex, the industry recognized the need for specialists who understood performance, story, and audience. By the 1930s and 40s, dedicated casting directors began to emerge, turning what was once a logistical responsibility into an artistic practice. One of the earliest figures credited with professionalizing casting was Maxwell Arnaud. At Warner Bros., Arnaud became known for his ability to spot talent, discovering actors like Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. His contribution highlighted how casting was not simply about finding people to fill roles, but about pairing character with actor in a way that elevated the entire production. Arnaud's career demonstrated that a single casting choice could define the cultural memory of a film. The profession expanded further in the post-war era, with Lynn Stalmaster emerging as one of the most influential casting directors in American cinema. Stalmaster worked on over 200 films, including West Side Story, The Graduate, Superman, and Tootsie. He was also the first casting director to receive an individual credit in a film's main titles, a symbolic but important acknowledgement in the craft. In 2016, the Academy honored him with an honorary award, one of the few times the Oscars had recognized casting before the new category was created. In the UK, Mary Solway became widely respected for her work with directors such as Steven Spielberg, Ridley Scott, and Mike Leigh. Her career was defined by her ability to discover and nurture actors who would later become major stars, while also balancing the needs of ensemble casts. Her work on films like Gosford Park displayed a sensibility to chemistry and tone that influenced casting worldwide. Her recognition by the BAFTA with the Michael Balcon Award for Outstanding British Contribution to Cinema demonstrated how European institutions had long been ahead of the Oscars in celebrating casting. Casting directors often work at the intersection of multiple departments, requiring them to collaborate closely with directors, producers, and sometimes even writers. They begin by studying the script in detail, identifying the qualities each character requires. Then they consult with the director about tone and interpretation. Producers step in on budget considerations and marketability of talent. Once actors are auditioned and chosen, the casting director arranges chemistry reads, negotiates availability, and coordinates with production managers to ensure contracts and schedules align. The actors department is equally involved, even if indirectly. Agencies, agents, and managers negotiate with casting directors on behalf of their clients. While actors rely on the audition process to demonstrate their fit for the role, a casting director acts as both gatekeeper and advocate, championing performers who might otherwise be overlooked. Directors often describe casting sessions as opportunities to refine their vision, since the right performance in an audition can inspire adjustments to the script or character. In modern Hollywood, casting directors such as Abby Kaufman, Francine Meisler, and Ellen Lewis are frequently cited for their contributions. Kaufman's work on films like Brokeback Mountain and Life of Pi reflects a wide-ranging approach balancing well-known stars with carefully chosen newcomers. Meisler has worked with directors such as Paul Thomas Anderson and Adam McKay, demonstrating how casting can serve the distinct voice of each filmmaker. Ellen Lewis, often collaborating with Martin Scorsese, has become known for assembling ensembles that create authenticity in period pieces and urban dramas. A casting director must be updated in acting styles, techniques, directing processes, and workflows to understand which actor suits a production the best. For example, Frances McDormand requires knowing how the movie will be edited in order to deliver a performance. Kate Blanchett likes to know how the camera blocking would be in order to know her range of movement and acting style of the moment. All that comes together with the collaboration of the casting and crew. Sometimes things don't go as planned, like in Bram Stoker's Dracula, where actors Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder didn't have complete chemistry with the director Francis Ford Coppola, resulting in performances that felt underwhelming. Television has also played an important part in advancing the recognition of casting. The Emmys introduced categories for casting in the late 1980s, acknowledging that television often relied on fast, precise casting decisions to keep pace with production schedules. These awards gave casting directors a professional platform that film did not provide. The Oscars' adoption of Best Casting can be seen as the Academy catching up with a broader recognition already present in other major award bodies. The addition of Best Casting also reflects the globalization of cinema. International festivals and institutions have frequently awarded casting directors. By 2023, when the Academy created a casting directors branch, it was clear that momentum was building toward eventual Oscar recognition. This comes also after decades of controversies, from Mickey Rooney's portrayal of a Japanese neighbor in Breakfast at Tiffany's to Emma Stone in the movie Aloha. The decision of casting the wrong actor into a role can have effects in the film's performance and reception. Actors around the globe advocate for true representation in stories. Movies like Crazy Rich Asians, Black Panther, and Coda have been appraised by their spot-on casting decisions. Understanding how casting decisions impact a film requires only a glance at iconic examples. The Godfather nearly cast other actors in roles that became inseparable from Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, and James Caan. Star Wars went through an extensive casting process that introduced audiences to Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. More recently, films like the upcoming Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping even used the casting announcement as part of the marketing, resulting in excitement from audiences in social media. Casting directors have sometimes been described as storytellers in their own right. They do not write with dialogue or direct performances, but they determine which voices and faces audiences will associate with the story. Their interpretive function makes them distinct from agents and producers, as their priority is not only marketability but also authenticity and cohesion of an ensemble. While the Oscars are known worldwide, the process of introducing new categories remains rare. Critics of the Academy have argued that recognition often comes too late, after decades of acknowledged work. For casting directors, this was certainly been the case. By the time the first Best Casting Oscar is awarded in 2026, the profession will have existed for nearly a century. The category represents progress in giving audiences and filmmakers alike a moment to reflect on the artistry behind the performances they admire. The inaugural award in 2026 will be watched closely, not just for which film wins, but for the broader conversation it sparks. Casting directors, many of whom have worked quietly behind the scenes, will be publicly celebrated on the world's biggest cinematic stage. The outcome may also encourage more transparency about how casting directors are made, an area of filmmaking that has often been invisible to audiences. In the end, Best Casting Oscar stands as recognition of collaboration. It highlights the partnership between directors, producers, actors, and professionals who bring them together. By officially including casting among the Academy's awards, the film industry acknowledges that the faces and voices we remember from the screen are not only the result of performance, but also of careful, thoughtful choices made before the cameras roll. Thank you so much for watching. I am a screenwriter and a filmmaker, and I love sharing my love and passion of film with you guys. Thanks again, and see you next time.
Just try and imagine a world where Annie Hall is played by anyone other than Diane Keaton, or where someone other than Tom Hanks is dancing on that keyboard in FAO Schwartz. The perfect pairings of these actors in their roles was because of the instincts of this woman here, Juliet Taylor.